Налогоплательщик. Ну да. Что, я близок к концу, не?
And now my heart's a blazing ruin. You say that you were only fooling. Don't walk away. Don't do me wrong. Don't leave me singing this torched song when I'm burning.
Опять пьяная какая-то идет, да господи, каждая миссия.
Of course we will look into it. Yes, I'm aware that it's an election year. Keep a hold of your hat, Counselor. Now is not the time to lose your nerve.
В середине?
It would appear that someone has hocked a rose gold wedding ring
Я
and matching
думал, я
engagement ring.
добьюсь сегодня.
Sound familiar?
Deirdre Muller.
Press the pawnbroker and see what you can find out. The address is 348 South Main Street. The Muller case goes before the grand jury next week, and the DA does not want any egg on his face. Then get out to the railroad depot on Santa Fe Avenue. We have another poor unfortunate found this morning beside the railroad line.
Дроп?
40-year-old white.
Да не, ну. Дропать-то уже не хочется. Ну, в плане. Чем закончится, интересно. Нулась. Так скажем. Может, на этот раз нальем.
You have a rose gold wedding and engagement ring?
David Bremner. Am I gonna get something for this pledge? Gave that bum money, now you guys are gonna leave me short.
How much did you give him?
$50?
Try another number.
20?
Try 10. Feel lucky you're getting it.
I have the rings right here.
Два... Ну, сегодня-завтра, наверное, пойду, получается.
What's this mark here?
Maker's mark. Usually traceable. That one came from Hartfield's Jewelry down on Broadway.
Thanks for the tip. Does this mark mean anything?
Hallmark. Gives you an idea of the quality.
22 карата.
What have you got on the guy who brought these in?
Goes by the name of Percy B. Shelley. Gave an address. 15 Poland Street, London, Tulare County.
Can you give us a description of the man who pawned these rings?
Not sure. Medium height, medium build. Dark hair, I think. Sorry. He just had one of those forgettable faces.
We'll be in touch, Mr. Bremner.
You boys ready? Follow me.
We should keep this development with the rings under our hat, so to speak. Decide who needs to know. Got it?
Hard, isn't it?
Yeah. I look after all the rail depots.
What have you got?
The Negro, Nelson Gaines, called it in. I came down here to make sure him and the other guy, Jameson, stuck around.
Jameson found the body?
Something like that. Guy makes me sick.
We'll talk to the coroner. Keep an eye on both of them.
Удушение, а не веревкой теперь.
The smell?
Very good. There is the usual evacuation smell, but it appears she's been living rough for quite some time.
Very strong smell of alcohol.
Well, the autopsy will tell, but I would assume that she was inebriated.
Another missing ring.
Certainly seems I've been swabbing a lot of bare fingers recently.
Can you be more exact about the time of death?
No later than 2 a.m. The state the body was in, a 1 or 2 hour window is the best I can do.
What have we got here?
White female, approximately 40 years of age, lipstick smudges on the face, but no writing, at least nothing legible. A blunt force trauma to the temple, nose, and eye regions. Ligature marks point to the probable cause of death being strangulation.
Any idea of the time of death?
From her temperature, after midnight would be my guess.
Hey, nice day, gentlemen.
I got this gadget whiz guy putting recording devices at the place for me.
Someone was trying to get her to come home. We could go over to the lot and see what they know about her.
That's gonna be difficult, Cole. Keystone Studio lot closed back in 41.
Maybe someone at Mensch's will remember her. This is a chit for personal items, not booze. It's an angle worth investigating.
Stay out of my way, and I will stay out of yours.
What are you thinking, Ray?
Everybody's happy.
The city keeps tossing us dead bodies. We're just running to catch up.
Согласен.
Detective Phelps and Galloway, homicide.
Can you tell me exactly what happened?
We were shutting cars over to the main line when I saw this man here lying on top of this woman. The woman wasn't moving and seemed to be in a bad way.
What time was this?
About 7:30 this morning, sir.
Thanks for your help. Have you given Patrolman Hart your details?
I have, sir.
Thank you. You can go now. Detective Phelps, LAPD homicide.
John Ferdinand Jameson.
We need you to answer some questions, John.
If you don't mind, I prefer Ferdinand.
Don't push your luck, knucklehead.
What were you doing to the body, Ferdinand?
Are you sure you won't be upset?
Try me, Ferdinand.
I was kissing her. It's not against the law.
Shut up.
There's no
Take
law
your
against
beating
it.
like a man.
Turn out your pockets, Ferdinand. Classic Carmine. Is this yours, Ferdinand?
No. I found it near her purse. I thought she could use some lipstick.
Rusty, stop! Don't hit him.
Капец, больной, конечно, чел.
You went through her purse?
It wasn't like she needed it. I took a look.
Did you take any money?
Wasn't any to take. I found her lipstick in her matchbook over on the mat. Not much else.
You found the body?
Yes, I did. I work here. I was coming off shift and headed home.
Why didn't you report the body, Jameson? Do you know how this is going to look to a jury?
A jury? What gives? I could tell that she was dead. I came through here about midnight last night. She wasn't here then.
Let me belt him again.
You're under arrest, Jameson. We'll see how this plays out. Until then, you can think a little on how you'd like to be treated if you were found.
Не, ну арестовать
I'm telling you, it's
зачем?
not illegal. Me and some friends of mine.
Clyde, you get this sack of shit into a cell. I'll deal with him later.
Ну типа, конечно, целовать
Nice day, gentlemen.
труп это такое себе. Браза. Да.
Drink, fellas.
Phelps, Galloway, homicide. We need to ask you some questions concerning Evelyn Summers.
I'm Walter Mensch. Evelyn Summers? What is it now?
You knew Evelyn?
As well as I wanted to know Evelyn. She's a pain in the ass, always coming in here, cadging drinks, never had any money. She was in just a couple of nights ago.
Did she ever tell you where she was staying?
I don't know. I think she was living rough. She had that kind of stunk about
Что
her.
за моды?
Who did she drink with?
Yeah, a bunch of these guys. Ask around.
Grosvenor McCaffrey.
Mind if I ask you some questions, Mr. McCaffrey?
I'm just a starving writer, Detective. What do you want to ask about?
Evelyn Summers, and why she was found beaten and strangled in the rail depot on Santa Fe.
Okay. I see your point.
How well did you know her?
I can't say that I knew her. It was more like I was aware of her.
Осман? Понял.
Did you see Evelyn last night?
No, I was at home, writing.
Can anyone corroborate that?
Good choice of word. Am I a suspect?
Fuck.
Do you have a criminal record, Mr. McCaffrey?
Nothing serious. I've had a few skirmishes.
Не буду интуицию на него тратить.
You want to save me some time, or do you want me to look up your file?
Industrial disputes, strikes, workers' rights, that kind of thing.
A regular fifth columnist. Nice to meet you, comrade.
Thank you for the information, Mr. McCaffrey.
Мистер McCaffrey.
One more time, pal, and I'll break your fucking jaw.
Чё сказал? А? Повтори.
What can I do for you?
LAPD, Phelps and Galloway. We're making inquiries into the murder of Evelyn Summers.
Evelyn? She's dead?
You knew Evelyn Summers, Mr.
Robbins. Yes, I knew Evelyn. I was a good friend of her ex-husband. She kept some of her stuff here.
Can you show us, please?
Sure. Come this way.
Well, it seems so high, I better make it 2 million.
Say, that's a pretty girl dressed in that nurse's aid uniform.
You got some fine stock here, Mr. Robbins. Well, you let us take some for the road, this case might get solved a lot quicker.
He's joking, Mr. Robbins.
She kept a bed here, but I probably shouldn't have let her. An alcoholic in a liquor store. That was never going to work out, was it?
We'll take a look around. She wasn't always such a loner. Evelyn was reading Aristotle?
Evelyn wasn't stupid. The only stupid thing about her was her need to drink.
And she was borrowing books from Grosvenor McCaffrey.
When exactly did Evelyn work in the pictures?
A few years ago. She worked in legal copyrights for music.
I'm guessing Evelyn hadn't held down a job for quite some time before she was killed. Rawlings Bowling Alley. Maybe Evelyn did something other than drink in her spare time.
Rawlings. I know that place. Corner of 9th and Grand. A lot of cops bowl there on Tuesday nights.
We're trying to account for Evelyn's movements yesterday.
She came by in the morning.
A social visit? To pick up some of her things?
She had a couple of bucks and bought a quart of rye.
What do you think's wrong with him, Doctor? I don't know. Naturally, don't you worry.
Any idea where the money came from?
She didn't mention it. But she did say the booze was a present for a boy. She said they had been fighting and she had to make it up to him.
Were you and Evelyn close, Mr. Robbins?
Not many people will be sad she's gone. I'll be one of the few.
Oh, let's fry him for a change.
Oh, pardon me. What are you doing, Doctor? I am about to operate. Oh, how jolly. May I cut in? Oh, yeah, sure.
We got the impression that Evelyn had been sleeping rough of late.
It became difficult for me to have her staying here. Her mother was trying to get her back on the straight and narrow. She's old now. And to be honest, you have to have a good reason to want to get back on.
Do you know a friend of Evelyn's by the name of McCaffrey?
Not personally.
I'm a very popular fellow.
Doctor, why do you have to operate it all on this boy?
Why, he can't live 5 minutes.
We're struggling for leads, Robbins. Did she know McCaffrey?
She idolized him. From what I gather, the feeling was far from mutual. He seems to peddle a revolutionary stance, fixing the ills of society.
Нос почесал.
You could see how it would appeal to down-and-outs like Evelyn.
Thanks for your help, Mr. Robbins.
No problem. Hey, I'd like to make arrangements for the funeral. You think I could get in touch with Evelyn's mother?
Put in a call to the watch commander at Central Station, Mr. Robbins. He'll be trying to reach the next of kin.
Thanks. Get the guy, huh?
Вдруг у него просто зачесался нос. Чё
Evelyn
ты?
never hurt anybody.
What's this about, Captain?
Ray and Mal have some concerns over the Henry and Muller cases, which I don't want aired outside of this room.
The evidence is solid, Captain.
I agree, Rusty. It's just that corpses keep piling up.
Copycats.
I've been banging the same drum. But the notes and the lipstick messages.
Evelyn Summers, Cartel Classic Carmine. Each woman, same brand, same color.
Teresa Terrelson didn't have a lipstick message.
Technically, you're right, Rusty. She didn't have any lipstick, but she did have a message. We found it beneath her dress, scraped with a sharp stick.
What did it say?
You sure you want to know?
Ray?
As far as we can be sure, it said cunt BD.
That's one way of looking at it.
Looking at what?
Cunt is all about access, Phelps. You're married, so yours is mortgaged. Some of us like to pay by installments. This guy doesn't like to pay at all.
Why are you so angry, Mal?
Because I just had to fire one of my assistants. He was a friend of Jameson's. God knows what he might have been up to.
Captain, we have good leads in the Summers case, but it's up to you to decide how we proceed.
Keep this under your hat for now. And to follow up on Evelyn Summers, I want daily reports.
I've been in this job 20 years. I never fired.
We got our orders. Back to the Summers case. Get an address for McCaffrey. He'll have blown the bar. I'll meet you outside.
Looks off me at the grand jury. Case was thrown out.
You ready to answer some questions?
You think I have all the answers?
People who run from the police usually have something to hide.
Touché, detective. Let's see where this takes us.
Самоуверенный, да?
You told us you barely knew Evelyn Summers.
She hung around sometimes. I had very little to do with her.
Doesn't look good, Grosvenor. It's either you or Tiernan from where we're sitting.
Personally, I think Evelyn is better off, but I had nothing to do with it.
Блин. Походу ложь надо было.
Evelyn died sometime around midnight. Remind me, where were you?
I was at home, writing. I'm working on a manuscript.
lying, McCaffrey. You were out at the rail yard.
And what do you have that proves I was there?
На станции был. Чё все перечеркнуто? The fuck?
You're off the hook. For now.
А нету доказательств, что ли, против него?
And you have someone who can corroborate your story.
Unfortunately, no.
It's either going to be you or Tiernan, Grosvenor.
Make it stick, detective. The party has good lawyers.
That bum took a swipe at me.
Можно
Put him down
перепройти?
ASAP.
Только не все заново. Все, уже ничего не вижу.
Why did you run, Tiernan?
I was the last one to see Evelyn that night. I knew you would think it was me.
Ну это не он, наверное. А тот, но того я не раскусил.
Can you describe your relationship with Evelyn?
I barely knew Evelyn.
Sounds like half an answer to me, Tiernan. Were you sleeping with her?
That's none of your business.
Aristotle's Metaphysics, the book that belonged to McCaffrey.
McCaffrey saw her looking at her once and laughed in her face.
And you're saying Evelyn stole it.
She wanted something of his.
Don't stalk around. Were you there? Yeah, okay.
You don't like McCaffrey, do you, Tiernan?
He's full of the common man routine, but he props up a bar like the rest of us. Evelyn thought he was going to be a great novelist. And he had nothing but vitriol for her.
Блять, хуйня.
No way. Nope.
You and Evelyn were drinking together last night, and she had no other place to stay.
I don't know what happened last night. I don't remember.
You need me to sign some papers or something? That's right. Can you bring me the file?
You're lying, Tiernan. You'd been fighting with her. You fought, and...
I'm not lying! She got up and left! That was it!
I'm no hood. I'm a killer. Is that a crime? Believe it or not, yeah. How long has this been?
Блядская муся.
You see my mother? No. You're going to release me now? You really think I'm gonna squeal? I'm no Yed. I scat to crack. Is that so wrong?
She left, but she came back. She bought you a quart of whiskey to make it up to you. She told the liquor store owner. You're in deep trouble, buddy.
She said she loved me. That she wanted to care for me. But she would never stop talking about McCaffrey. McCaffrey was a writer, and McCaffrey was a hero. McCaffrey cared for the little guy.
Did you kill her, Tiernan?
I might as well have. I kicked her out. She had nowhere to go.
Anyone seen where Miss Wells went?
Do you own a car, Tiernan?
No, I don't.
Have access to a lug wrench?
We use a lot of them to clear jams in the pin setting machines.
Can you take these braces off? They hurt. Am I gonna get out of here tonight?
Блять. Если я сейчас отвечу неправильно, то пизда. Будет, да?
Are there nappers? We're not dirty in this city anymore.
Coroner's report says that Evelyn was killed with a wrench. I think you did it and then planted the evidence at McCaffrey's apartment for us to find.
We went to his apartment. McCaffrey was up on the roof. Evelyn stole the book. McCaffrey went crazy when he found out. He said he would put her out of her misery. He can be very cruel.
Evelyn was missing a ring from her right hand.
That's strange. She always wore it. Big black circular disc with a white E in the middle. It was made from an old typewriter key, a present from the prop department at her old movie studio.
We're going to talk to McCaffrey. You need to think about what you've told us, Tiernan. You're not in the clear.
Ну, получше, чем с МакЭфери. 2 хотя бы.
And out.
We found the lug wrench that Evelyn was battered with in your apartment, and the note from her mother, and your blood-stained clothing. We have you cold, McCaffrey.
You think if I could be bothered to murder Evelyn Summers, I would be stupid enough to leave the evidence in my apartment?
Блять. Хитрый жук.
You guys got somewhere you need to be? You're ruining the ambiance.
If it was planted there, then some evil mastermind must be at work here. You got a name, McCaffrey?
Tiernan. Who else?
I was under the impression you thought Tiernan incapable of tying his own shoelaces.
Блин.
The only reason some people get lost in
Плохо. Плохо дела.
Operator, give
Я
me
не
our
добился ничего.
Putting you through now.
От него.
Phelps,
Я не знаю.
1247.
Мутный тип очень.
How can I help, Detective?
I need the jacket on a Grosvenor McCaffrey.
Just a moment, Detective. McCaffrey was formerly under surveillance by the Red Squad. Convictions for petty theft. Dishonorable discharge from the Army during training at Syracuse. Assault on a local woman. Says he almost beat the woman to death.
Thank you.
Мне надо добиться от него признания любой ценой. Я уже не знаю. Если я и четвертое провалю, то это точно конец.
You were in the war?
Yes, I was. Seeing the things that I saw, it changes a man. I came back here determined to change things. All I wanted was a pen and an opportunity to speak out.
You told us before that you had only minor run-ins with the police. You didn't mention petty theft.
I've never been in trouble for violence. That's the salient point here, isn't it?
Блин, ну я... А я же не могу отменить, да?
You're holding out on us, McCaffrey. What other trouble have you been in?
I was in a few labor disputes before the war. I didn't use my real name.
Ну ладно, перепройти можно.
Why did you run, Tiernan?
I was the last one to see Evelyn that night. I knew you would think it was me.
Can you describe your relationship with Evelyn?
I barely knew Evelyn.
Keep lying to me and I'll have you charged and in front of a grand jury before your feet touch the ground.
How can you possibly prove Evelyn and I were more than friends?
How long is this gonna take? Is the captain in? Do I need to find someone to look after me anymore? No way. Nope. Well, are there any leads?
Монтировка. Вот заложенные кольца, я вот. Настоящие передремали.
Is standing around saying nothing, is this some kind of mental torture?
Не, походу тут ничего. Брал письмо адресу. Ну кто ей писал?
Looks like I made a mistake.
Ну допустим.
She was old enough to be your mother, Tiernan. Are you banging her?
That's none of your business.
You a mama's boy, Tiernan?
Блять!
Aristotle's Metaphysics, the book that belonged to McCaffrey.
McCaffrey saw her looking at her once and laughed in her face.
And you're saying Evelyn stole it.
Все-таки ложь, мне кажется.
She wanted something of his.
Так, что я там отвечал? По мнению, да? Тогда.
You don't like McCaffrey, do you, Tiernan?
He's full of the common man routine, but he props up a bar like the rest of us. Evelyn thought he was going to be a great novelist. And he had nothing but vitriol for her.
You really think I'm gonna squeal?
Короче, первые две это точно ложь, как будто бы.
You and Evelyn were drinking together last night, and she had no other place to stay.
I don't know what happened last night. I don't remember.
Can you take these places off? Take her! That's right. You left at midnight, correct?
Че, третья ложь, да, отмечал?
You're lying, Tiernan. You'd been fighting with her. You fought, and...
I'm not lying! She got up and left, that was it!
Did you know, Mr. Kowski? Maybe.
She left, but she came back. She bought you a quart of whiskey to make it up to you. She told the liquor store owner. You're in deep trouble, buddy.
She said she loved me. She wanted to care for me. But she would never stop talking about McCaffrey. McCaffrey was a writer, and McCaffrey was a hero. McCaffrey cared for the little guy.
Did you kill her, Tiernan?
I might as well have. I kicked her out. She had nowhere to go.
Do you own a car, Tiernan?
No, I don't.
Have access to a lug wrench?
No, we use a lot of them to clear jams in the pin setting machines.
Isn't there anything else you can do? I ain't talking to you. You really think I'm gonna...
Coroner's report says that Evelyn was killed with a wrench. I think you did it and then planted the evidence at McCaffrey's apartment for us to find.
We went to his apartment. McCaffrey was up on the roof. Evelyn stole the book. McCaffrey went crazy when he found out. He said he would put her out of her misery. He can be very cruel.
Первые две тоже ложь, все-таки, наверное.
That's strange. She always wore
Либо первое сомнение, я не помню.
big black circular disc with a white E in the middle. It was made from an old typewriter key, a present from the prop department at her old movie studio.
А вот с тем
I wanna
хуем
talk to
сложнее будет.
You need to think about what you've told us, Tiernan. You're not in the clear. You told
Сомнения?
us you barely knew Evelyn Summers.
She hung around sometimes. I had very little to do with her.
Ложь или ложь я отмечал? Я уже забыл. Бля. Давай первое, допустим.
So she was your follower.
That's one way of describing her. She was like a stray dog, desperate for a master.
Ложь, значит.
Evelyn died sometime around midnight. Remind me, where were you?
I was at home, writing. I'm working on a manuscript.
Вот здесь я ложь, по-моему, нажимал.
You're lying, McCaffrey. You were out at the rail yard.
And what do you have that proves I was there?
И тут сейчас... А, у меня тогда было перечеркнуто все почему. Так, вот это. Травка. Ну. Обвинение?
You're going to have to do better than that, detective.
We found the lug wrench that Evelyn was battered with in your apartment, and the note from her mother, and your blood-stained clothing. We have you cold, McCaffrey.
You think if I could be bothered to murder Evelyn Summers, I would be stupid enough to leave the evidence in my apartment?
Сомнения, по-моему, я отмечал. Тогда нет.
Haven't you got parking tickets to hand out?
Tiernan is prepared to testify that you threatened Evelyn's life in his presence.
Self-preservation. That's understandable. Okay, I'll level with you. Tiernan killed Evelyn. He came to me for help. I listened to him, and he explained why he did it.
Tiernan went to you for help. You expect me to buy that?
That's how it went down. I told him he made a terrible mistake, but he would be throwing his life away if he went to the cops. I took his things and told him I would dispose of them.
But you didn't.
Speak to Tiernan. He'll give it up.
It's either going to be you or Tiernan, Grosvenor.
Make it stick, detective. The party has good lawyers.
I'm thinking of moving up to a 45.
Тяжело.
You spoken to McCaffrey? I can go? It's all been cleared up?
Not quite. We have one more question we need to ask, James. Then I think we will be done.
Sure. Go ahead.
So Evelyn passed out, and you walked out. What happened next?
I woke up in the morning. Very hungover. I thought Evelyn would have come back.
Do I need to find someone to look after me now?
Ну лжет.
No, I haven't met this much. I'm only talking to you.
Лжет, да? Сука, лжет.
I know you're lying, James. You went out looking for her. Tell me what really happened.
I don't know what you're talking about. How can you say I wasn't in that hotel room?
МакКафри?
You trying to sit me down? What the hell is the LAPD up to these days?
Волнуется просто стресс.
You want me to fill this out?
You wound up at McCaffrey's. You were still incredibly drunk. You passed out on his floor. It's time to tell me what really happened.
McCaffrey woke me up the next morning, and he showed me the lug wrench and the letter and the box, and he said I came in with him last night. He said that I killed Evelyn, and that it was all over the radio, and that he would protect me. And I don't know, detective, for the life of me, I can't remember a goddamn thing. And I was angry with her. Really angry. I could have done it. Was it me?
Я откуда знаю? Ты это сделал, да? А, да, еще можно что-то выбрать.
Wait here.
Am I gonna get out of here tonight?
I'm telling you,
Нет.
you'll get roasted.
You were in the war?
Yes, I was. Seeing the things that I saw, it changes a man. I came back here determined to change things. All I wanted was a pen and an opportunity to speak out.
You told us before that you had only minor run-ins with the police. You didn't mention petty theft.
I've never been in trouble for violence. That's the salient point here, isn't it?
Ну, ложь получается. Единственное, какое доказательство?
You're lying, McCaffrey. You have a history of violence towards women.
How do you turn a couple parking tickets and a petty theft misdemeanor into an assault charge? You guys got somewhere you need to be? You're ruining the ambiance.
Криминальное прошлое. Это?
We know all about you and your dishonorable discharge, beating some poor woman near to death in Syracuse. You've never been in combat, McCaffrey. Your whole life is a fraud.
She was a goddamn peasant whore. She tried to steal from my wallet. I could have fought for this country. I could have.
You beat her because she stole from you, because she tried to outsmart you.
The ignorant audacity of the bitch. What is a man supposed to do? Sit there and take it? How is a man supposed to call himself a man?
And Evelyn Summers, a poor, drunken nobody, stole your book.
And she got what was coming to her.
Думаю, это он.
Grosvenor McCaffrey, I'm charging you with the murder of Evelyn Summers. She was a sad lady who never hurt anyone except herself. I hope God finds a way to forgive you.
А, жесть.
Congratulations, boys, you bagged the fine catch. Another red to boot. Grand. Now, I want you to put this business about a repeat offender out of your mind. This McCaffrey creature shows no remorse, and neither will the grand jury. You would have to walk a long mile to find a better candidate for an unmarked plot in the prison graveyard.
Вот если бы еще первые два вопроса я хорошо ответил бы, то было бы идеально, конечно. Хорошо.